Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Is anybody here a mother? Huh? Okay. Anybody have a mother? Okay. Anybody know a mother?
I had one.
Okay. All right. Well, today we celebrate all of you because that's what it's all about. We are also celebrating the divine feminine, which is part of all of us. Each and every one of us has the divine feminine as part of who we are. And May is also the month to celebrate graduations. In fact, when we came home from our trip, there were 3 graduation announcements, invitations, or whatever in our news, or in our mail. So that was kind of exciting. So in our education system, we go to grade school, we go to high school, we go to college, and after that, you get your 4-year degree, and then you can apply to go to graduate school. And in graduate school, you narrow down your focus and enter into a specific area of study with some rigorous courses and practicums where you actually practice whatever it is you're focused on. And you create endeavors that produce results around that specific area of study. And then you're given your master's degree. This month, we're engaged in our own master's program, a master's program in spirituality. It's a short course of study. It's only 5 weeks. But if you successfully complete it, meaning that you attend or at least listen to the talk on the internet or through our website, and you are actively engaged in the work as the weeks unfold here, you will receive a certificate of graduation on the last Sunday of this month. That's if I can figure out how to print them out. As a reminder, our master's program comes from the 4 levels of consciousness evolution, and Suzanne talked about those last week. The why me or mortal victim, the by me or metaphysician through consciousness, I can make this happen, the through me or mystic, the Father within doeth the work, and the as me or master, I am one with God, and therefore it just happens, right? Now, there are those who have come before us who have mastered living in such a way that we call them master. We call Jesus the master teacher because he mastered living in such a way that others were absolutely transformed just by being in his presence, just by getting close to him, just by touching the hem of his garment, just by being in that energy field. We've all felt that, haven't we, when we've walked into a room and the presence of a person has been there. And he brought about that transformation because he lived from a consciousness of oneness. So today is our day to get fully enrolled in our own master's program, and thus our title. So what does it mean to enroll? It means to get engaged in, to sign up for, to put our name on, to join, to become an active participant in. A way of thinking and being and acting and feeling that moves us toward our focused intention. And for our purpose here this month, our focused intention is to move more and more and more into ways of oneness. Now, I'm very aware that each and every one of us is on our own personal and unique journey of life. And we are each in our own personal and unique stage in our own personal and unique journey. And wherever we are is the perfect place to be. Wherever you are right now is right where you're supposed to be. Science of Mind founder Ernest Holmes says in the Science of Mind textbook that the only place we can begin our spiritual journey is right where we are. Right? And right where we are is the perfect place to begin. So last week, Suzanne had everyone take our entrance exam, right? The LRE, to help us assess where we might slot into our own program. So LRE standing for where we are when a life challenge hits, where we are when our relationship with God all of the time, not just when life challenges hit, and where we are with our earth stewardship. Remembering that we are charged with dominion, care, nurturing of, and that which sustains us and gives us physical life. And wherever you are in your personal and unique journey, right now, this morning, I invite you to enroll in and get engaged in, sign up for it, and put your name on it, and fully participate in mastering the next step for you, whatever that next step is, in living from a greater and greater sense and deeper sense of oneness. And oneness means that we realize that when a life challenge comes, it is meant for us. It is not done to us. Oneness means that our relationship with God is not a relationship with something or someone outside of ourselves, but rather with that which lives and moves and has its being as us. And that it is a relationship to be cultivated at all times. At all times. And oneness means that we are profoundly aware that we have to take care of Mother Earth because she is us and we are her. There is that connection there. So this morning we enroll in the Master's Program by cultivating consciousness connection. So let's talk about consciousness connection. Master's level training or master's level living means that I incorporate into my life practices that keep me in conscious connection to God's presence as me. Brother Lawrence called it practicing the presence. Paul called it praying without ceasing. It's the building of a connection that becomes more and more and more conscious. So the moments of remembering God's presence expand and extend in our lives. And the times of forgetting who we are and forgetting God's presence get smaller and narrower. And that comes with the practice of mastering conscious connection. So how do we really enter into this conscious connection with God? Well, we listen and we follow. There's a teaching story in the Judeo-Christian Bible about a man to whom God spoke. God said to this man, whose name was Jonah, you may have heard of him. God said to him, Jonah, I want you to cross over here and go to Nineveh. There are some things going there that aren't quite copacetic, and I want you to straighten them out. This is my assignment for you. This is what you're supposed to be doing with your life right now. Or words to that effect, not a direct quote. But the communication was very, very clear. The directions were very, very clear. The purpose was very, very clear. So what did Jonah do? He got in a boat and he went the opposite direction. How many of us have done that, right? He ran like heck. He went exactly the opposite of what God of his being told him. So, has anybody here ever run the exact opposite direction to what they were being clearly told? Yes, I think we all have. Plan A was that God gave Jonah the guidance gently and clearly. Plan B was that Jonah didn't listen to it, so God used Plan B. The situation got more intense. And in that intensity, he's on the boat, headed exactly the wrong direction with his life, and a storm comes up, and he's tossed out of the boat, and he's swallowed by a whale. Well, we know the story. Now, that's God's attention-getting device. Some of us have got some whales right now in our lives because we didn't listen to the subtle message. We didn't pay attention to the subtle message. The deal is, when God sends guidance and with gentleness, it's folly to ignore it. And I've learned that personally many times. Sometimes I think I'm a slow learner, but I'm getting better every day. The question I get a lot is, how do I know that it's really God's guidance versus my own fear, my own ego, my own stubbornness, etc.? How do I know that it's really God guiding us? We need to listen, and we need to follow, and we need to observe. Or listen, don't follow, and observe. And we learn. We learn by experience. That's the only way that it really sticks with us. A lot of times when we look back on something, we go, oh, when that little voice was saying, take a left here instead of the normal way. And we don't. We come upon maybe a traffic jam or something. Oh, I should have listened. So listen, learn, observe. Last year when a friend was going through some tough times, my initial response was to offer positive advice. But my inner voice said not to comment, but to just listen. Be the person who just listens. I ignored that voice. And I offered what I thought was a positive perspective. And boy, did that backfire. It took about 9 months for that relationship to right itself, and it hasn't been fun. It really hasn't. But I learned, sometimes I'm not here to give advice or to fix something for someone else. Sometimes I just need to be the person that someone can vent to or express their worries and concerns. Sometimes when you just get it off your chest, you feel a whole lot better. You don't need someone to fix it for you. Recently, when my son-in-law was faced with some job-related challenges, I wanted to give advice and to try to solve the problem, or what I perceived to be the problem. Boy, did I have stories made up in my mind. But then I realized I was coming from fear, and that it was not mine to fix. It was not mine to fix. So I just listened. And he figured it out in less than 2 weeks, and things are going great. Got a brand new job, and he loves it, and life is back on track. So it was good. There was nothing I needed to do anyway. But boy, I'm one of those people that wants to get in there and do something in every situation. And it's just not needed. It just isn't mine. So that's okay. Now, right now, deep down, we've all been feeling some nudges, right? Have you all been feeling any nudges out there? And they come in different ways. And they can come in yearning that there's got to be more. There's got to be more for life. They can come in as an uneasiness in our awareness. Something that's just nagging at the back of your mind. That maybe a certain thing we've done or been doing for a long time or been a part of or practiced our life for a long time in a certain way. And it was okay for a while, but it's not okay now. Something's changed. Some way that we've lived life that we know isn't right for us now, but we may be ignoring it. We're in that boat, aren't we? We're going the opposite direction from our guidance. It can come through our conscious, that place where you just feel at peace or not, and we try to do something or try to get that uneasiness to go away. Now, to fully enroll in, to engage in, to sign up for, and to participate in our master's program in spirituality, we have to do the first step, which is to start listening. We must listen. I don't know how God's guidance has been coming to you, but I do know that it's always there. In fact, right now, some ideas are coming to you. Yes? Are you willing to listen to them? And so this conscious connection step is really a surrendered step. It's surrendering ourselves to the guidance of God. In order for us to get our Masters this month, we must surrender to the touch of the Master's hand. You may have heard this poem before, but it bears repeating this morning. It's called The Touch of the Master's Hand by Myra B. Welch. 'Twas battered and scared, and the auctioneer thought it scarcely worth his while to waste much time on the old violin, but he held it up with a smile. "What am I biddin', good folks?" he cried. "Who'll start the bidding for me? $1, now who'll make it $2? And who will make it $3 once, $3 twice, going for 3, but no!" From the room far back a gray-haired man came forward and picked up the bow. Then wiping the dust from the old violin and tightening up the strings, he played a melody pure and sweet as an angel sings. The music ceased, and the auctioneer, with a voice that was quiet and low, said, "What am I biddin' for the old violin?" And he held it up with the bow. $1,000, who'll make it 2? 2,000, and who'll make it 3? 3,000 once, 3,000 twice, and going and gone, said he. The people cheered, but some of them cried, "We do not quite understand what change it's worth," the man replied, "the touch of a master's hand." And many a man with life out of tune and battered and torn within is auctioned cheap to a thoughtless crowd, much like the old violin. A mess of pottage, a glass of wine, a game, and he travels on. He's going once, he's going twice, he's going and almost gone. But the master comes, and the foolish crowd never can quite understand the worth of a soul and the change that's wrought by the touch of a master's hand. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. So our homework this week is for our master's program in spirituality is to place ourselves in the master's hands. That's our homework, to place ourselves in the master's hands by making that conscious connection with that center in us where God's wisdom and guidance are, and then to make our choices and our actions from that place. In this way, we enroll in and we engage in and we fully sign up for this expanded, this deep, this connected way of living, which leads us to our deepest hopes and fulfilled dreams and lead us into Over the Rainbow. And with that, I thought I would share one of our favorite songs